It was 8:43 a.m., and the lobby of Whitestone Enterprises buzzed like a well-oiled machine. Polished shoes clicked against marble, barista-fueled assistants hustled past the turnstiles, and the air smelled faintly of fresh espresso and ambition. No one noticed the woman in the corner, her posture hunched, her skin pale, her eyes fluttering shut. Until she collapsed. The fall was silent, graceful even, more like a surrender than an accident. For a moment, time hesitated. Phones stopped mid-text, conversations halted mid-word, and the rhythm of morning routine came undone. All eyes turned toward the woman lying unconscious on the cold marble floor. But one man didn't hesitate. Ethan Carrington, CEO of Whitestone Enterprises, was not the kind of man who normally lingered in the lobby. He preferred direct elevator access to his office, where deals worth millions were inked over filtered light and leather armchairs. But that morning, for reasons even he couldn't explain, he had taken the long route down. He dropped his briefcase and knelt beside her. "Hey. Hey, can you hear me?" he said gently, placing a hand under her head and loosening her scarf. "Someone call 911. The woman's lips parted, and a soft, almost apologetic whisper escaped. "I'm sorry." And then, darkness again. When the paramedics arrived, Ethan stayed by her side. His executive team stood by the elevators, whispering. What was the CEO doing kneeling on the floor beside a stranger? But Ethan didn't care about optics. Something about her, her fragile strength, the apology in her fading voice, had shaken something loose inside him. She was taken to the nearest hospital. Ethan followed. Her name was Maya Linton. 29. Unemployed. Recently evicted. And severely anemic due to a combination of stress and skipped meals. Her records showed no family nearby, just a contact number for a roommate who hadn't answered. She woke to the sound of machines beeping and a soft murmur of voices outside her room. Her throat was dry, her body aching. She blinked slowly and found a tall man in a navy suit sitting in the corner, scrolling through his phone. He looked up. "You're awake." Maya frowned. "Do I know you?" "I'm Ethan. Ethan Carrington." He smiled. "You fainted in my lobby this morning. Gave us all quite a scare." Realization dawned in her tired eyes. "I'm so embarrassed." "You don't need to be," he said gently. "You needed help. I'm just glad I was there." She turned her face away, ashamed. "I shouldn't have been there. I wasn't. I was only hoping to leave my resume at the front desk." "I didn't expect," her voice cracked. Ethan stood and poured her some water. "You don't have to explain anything. Just focus on getting better." She took the cup with trembling hands. "Why are you here?" He paused before answering. "Because I wanted to be." Over the next few days, Ethan visited her at the hospital. What began as concern shifted into something more personal. He learned that Maya had once worked in nonprofit management before a series of layoffs during a merger left her unemployed. A sick mother, bills piling up, and a string of rejected job applications had pushed her to the edge. But through it all, she spoke with warmth, humility, and an uncanny ability to laugh at her own misfortunes. "You've been through so much," Ethan said during one visit. Maya shrugged, smiling softly. "We all go through something. I'm not special." But Ethan thought she was. When Maya was discharged, she had nowhere to go. Her apartment lease had ended, and her savings were gone. Ethan made a decision, one that shocked both his assistant and himself. "Put her up in the company guest suite," he instructed. "She needs rest, and I trust her." "But sir, it's normally reserved for executives and it's not negotiable." Maya was stunned when she arrived at the penthouse-like guest suite overlooking the city skyline. "This is too much," she said. Ethan smiled. "Just consider it temporary. Until you're back on your feet." She looked at him with eyes that held both gratitude and stubborn independence. "I'll pay you back." "I believe you," he replied. Weeks passed. Maya slowly regained her strength. She began volunteering at a nearby shelter, helping women find jobs, updating resumes, and offering counseling. She found purpose in helping others, even when she had so little herself. Ethan watched her transform. He found himself drawn not just to her beauty or resilience, but to her spirit. She was unlike anyone he had ever met in the boardrooms and banquets of his world. And then one evening, as the city lights shimmered and the air was thick with summer warmth, Maya invited him to the shelter's fundraising dinner. She stood in front of a room full of strangers, telling her story. Not for sympathy, but to inspire. "I thought I had nothing," she said, voice steady. "But I was wrong. I had my voice. My hope. And one act of kindness changed everything." The room was silent. Ethan's heart swelled with something he hadn't felt in years, true, profound admiration. After the dinner, they walked together under a canopy of stars. "Why did you help me?" Maya asked, her voice barely a whisper. Ethan stopped. "Because I saw someone worth helping. And somewhere along the way, I think I fell for you." She looked up, eyes glistening. "I think I fell too." Their love didn't arrive with grand gestures or fireworks. It came in quiet mornings over coffee, in long walks through the city, in late-night conversations about loss and healing. Maya eventually joined Whitestone as Director of Community Initiatives. Her first project was to launch a program connecting corporate executives with struggling women in need of mentorship and opportunity. "I want to build a bridge between two worlds," she said during the launch speech. "Because sometimes, all it takes is one person who sees you." Ethan stood at the back, hands in his pockets, pride shining in his eyes. Years later, Maya would be known not as the woman who fainted in the lobby, but as the woman who rose. Who transformed pain into purpose. And the CEO who had once ruled from a penthouse now sat beside her in community centers and food banks, learning how much more there was to success than bottom lines. They didn't just fall in love. They changed each other.